my friends, Denise here from Seasar, and welcome to my garage. I'm in a garage, and it's 76 degrees outside. Yay! It's 52 degrees in the garage. Yay! But we're gonna make some art. Oh, what is that? A moth? I think it's a moth. I've got all sorts of fun little critters that come to join me, most especially jumping spiders and baby wolf spiders, which is kind of cool. But what we're gonna do today, what we're gonna do together, is kind of weird because I opened the box for the first time. I've had it for fucking a year. Not a kid-friendly show. Where is it? Hang on. Nope, it's not over there. Oh. Alright, so I'm gonna find it, but it's Brusho. And it has amazing colors. And so last night I was working on the colors, and they dry very fast and they're quite vibrant. It's almost like Derwent's INTENSE pencils or whatever. I spent the money on that. Shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. Those are still in storage. But I have Brusho and I like the colors. So it's going to be a little bit of tough work, but it's going to be fun work. So let's go back into this piece. Ciao, bella. See you soon. Alright, hello my friends. So I just want to kind of like give you a heads up to what's going on. Everything in my life deals with a plastic bag because I'm in a garage. So this piece that we're going to work on together has been in a plastic bag because, oh my god, if it's not, then it's fun. Not a kid-friendly show. Alright, so let's put that there. Alright, I found my Brusho. And this is what it is. And the reason why I never used it is because it said crystal color. And I thought it was going to be like, you know, like psychedelic, shimmery shit, but it's not. It is not. And so what I've done is I've sealed the whole thing over. And that's what I did last night. I sealed it over, and I put holes in them and put tape on them. So in my testing of the colors, I found that oh shit, where did I put that? They're very strong. They're very strong, and they the best thing for us to do to make this work. Let me get my mouse out of the way here. So the best thing to do to make this work. Oh jeebus! Get a grip on yourself. There you are. That gives us more space. So I have these tins over here. Alright, that's the best way to use it that I found, with a mister, for God's sakes. And you don't want to apply it like they tell you, just sprinkle it on. No, you don't want to do that, because if you do that, you're going to end up with a mess of dots that you can't deal with. But if you just want the color, which is what we want for this piece, we're going to figure it out together. Because this is the first time I'm doing this, so we're together in this. Allow me to blow my nose. Alright. So, for this first round, what I was thinking of going in, I need a really dark green, and I need a really light green. So in looking at the swatches that I did, I think this yellow is really nice. Lemon is great. Lemon is actually better than, lemon is bright. It's a bright yellow. So I'm going to go with the lemon, but I'm going to go light. Because you can dilute this any way you want. These are really strong colors. And I was playing around. Turquoise or emerald green was the last color I did. And I still had some on my brush, so I threw it through all these other colors to see how it would react. And I love the greens that it made in the two yellows. So that's what we're going to do. So, pardon me, I gotta blow my nose again. It's crazy being in the garage. I mean, I've been freezing for the last week, 2 weeks. Like, frozen. And tonight I'm warm for the first time, and I don't have to wear like 10 layers, which is crazy. So I'm gonna go for, I'm gonna look for the color, damn it. There it is. Let's just go with the yellow. And I already poked holes. Don't ever, if you get Brusho, open it, because you're gonna lose it. There's a little thing in the middle that you can actually poke. So just poke, all right? Just poke it. Poke it. All right, that's a lot. Trust me, that is a lot. So we're gonna use it in varying degrees, because that's what you can do with water. All right, let me get my brush. Yeah. For this, I want to use. I'm gonna use this one. All right, it's a filbert, and I don't know if it's been used in a long time or not, but it's getting used today. And I'm going to go ahead and spray this in the cup. You don't want to put this shit straight on your piece, because you're going to have all these dots, which you really don't want, right? So you're just going to want to go like this. And I kind of want to dump it in spaces, which will mix with other colors that I have on here. If you remember, we used water soluble graphite the last time, which this is just all graphite, no matter how you look at it, because it's a mineral. And there you go. Here we are. Oh. So we're just gonna define some areas here. We're just gonna add that golden hue. Oh, hue. Ah. And then if I push it into a darker color, I'm going to get a darker green, which is also really cool, right? So we're going to go ahead and do that with this. And I realize, yep, there we are. And let's push it out over here because this is a blank canvas. And so I'm going to go ahead and dip my brush in water because it's amazing how far this shit will go, right? Look at that. And that's okay, you know, to have yellow as your undercolor when you know this is all going to be earthy colors to begin with, right? So a little bit more water. Look at that. Yeah, we'll just dump that shit right in there. So, it's amazing. See, we're putting the light in. Let's go back up here. I'm not sure what's up here yet, but see, we can still ignite the graphite, the graphenite that we put in. So we're actually, that's happening. All right. I like stretching it as like, because if I look in off the mountain right now, that's what I see, like bunches of trees and shit up way up in there, like just doing their thing, being really peaceable. All right, that's really cool. So then I just take this is how I did all my swatches last night. I just take a piece of paper towel, wipe it out, and get ready for the next color. So let's go with the green. Now this one for me is a tough one because the greens are so weird, but they're worth exploring. Trust me. Lemon. I keep turquoise. Although turquoise is a beautiful green. All right, leaf green is really weird because it I don't know. I'm gonna show you what it looks like. All right, so does that look like it's gonna be green? No, no. But if you look really closely, it's got a whole bunch of colors in it, which is weird. So we're gonna squirt it. Look at that shit. That's gonna be a darker color, so I'm not gonna squirt anymore. And I'm just gonna mix. And if you're using this, you want to get all the particulates out of it. Out, scout. don't, no. And don't be too heavy. I mean, just, you know, because we know we want light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. So put it where it makes sense. And also understand that you can go in with some water and thin that bitch. Not a gift from the show. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, we're just going to go in with pure water and do a little dab. Not too much water. We just don't want to. This is Archer's, I think it's 140 pounds. So when you go around it, you're actually gonna make a difference. But the thing with this is, remember, the stronger it is when you put it in, it ain't moving. It's not moving. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna change. You've left it as permanent. Almost like Intense pens. So be careful when you use this. Now, when you thin it, that's a different story, because then you end up with something a little different that you can mess around with, right? And I can put some of that in there. And we can zap some of that up here. And also in this mountainous area here where we have trees, which we're definitely going to be using something a little more stable to work on in the future. But we can just alright. So this is an example. Now you see how permanent this has become, right? Because if you use it in its solid strength, then sister, be ready, because that's where it is and that's where it will be. But the cool thing is you can go over it. And I mean, you can blend with it. So I think the best thing to use to blend is going to be a lemon yellow, which is somewhere in here. Oh, no, let's go with the orange. Because, you know, who cares? Alright, let's pop some of this orange in there. And we're going to be done really soon because I have to blow my nose again and I don't want to bore you with that shit. So, alright, so I'm going to take some of this orange and go over this green. We're just going to kind of like semblance. Those are probably going to become like rocks, I'm guessing, in the future. So keep that in mind, my friends. When you use this stuff, if you put it down like at 100%, you're screwed. There's no going back. There's maybe like this right here. There's no going back from that, and I don't mind that. And there's no going back from this. And if you add a ton of water, then there's a lot going back because you have more control. So with the Brusho, if you use it at full strength, you're stuck with the full strength, but that's okay, because I know these are going to be rocks. And not so sure up here, but who cares? Because this is all for fun anyway. And so let's just use the rest of this up over here. Some sunlight on my man. Oh. Alright, so my friends, this is part 2, and we're using, this time we are utilizing Brusho. This Brusho, let me show you. And this is the first time I've used it, and it's a learning experience. So this is what it is. I cut it open last night, and then I wrapped it really well with tape so that the garage wouldn't affect anything going on in there. So that's it. That's all we're gonna do tonight. I mean, I'm gonna work on it a little bit, but that's part 2, using Brusho. But you know, let's not end it here. Let's make those rocks, because that doesn't work for me. So I'm gonna blow my nose real quick. Sorry. This is my life right now. Okay, so let's use this. There is a black, and trust me, it's not really black. It's actually more like a Payne's gray. So I'm gonna add that to that yellow. And I'm gonna add some brown. There is a brown. Oh, it's right after ultramarine. There it is, dark brown. Let's add some brown to the black. And so this is more like a Payne's gray. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I want to show you what's going on in this cup. Look at all those colors. Isn't that weird? Okay, so let's spray it. Now look at that. Isn't it fucked up? Not a kid-friendly show. Alright, so I'm going to pop that in there. Swirl it around. Look at that color. What is that? Nobody knows. I'm a rock. I'm a rock. I'm a rock over here. He's thin it out a little bit. Oh. Get it while it's wet. Yeah. This is Brusho. Brusho, you might as well call it permanent. But we have the semblance of something going on there, and maybe something going on here. You know, it's never over until the fat lady sings, and she has an amazing voice. So, I'm all for it. See how it thins itself out? I love this. So, you add more water and you keep going. This is so much fun. Because you don't know where it's going to go. Where are you going? I don't know. But this is bleeding down, which is really cool. Because I guess I used it on wet. Wet on wet. So, yay. Which is okay too. Oh, they're so dark, aren't they? They're like, hi, my name is this. This is who I am. I'm here. I hope you like me. I love you. Are you kidding? Ooh. So, all right. That's it. That's it. That's all we're going to do, my friends. I love you. We're going to let this dry and see what it looks like tomorrow. And who knows if we're going to use Brusho, if we're going to use watercolor or gouache. I don't know. It all depends. Let me give you a real quick view of what we got going on here. So you notice the black is more like a Payne's gray, right? It's got bluish tints to it. But when applied to other colors, it is straight up in your face black. But look at, because it's wet on wet, so it's bleeding out all these beautiful little plumes. We'll let them do their things, and then we'll see what we got. Alright, my friends. This is Diney's from Cesar saying ciao bella, ciao bellos, my friends.